So here's the thing, the real thing. On a great, big, massive scale, right, as briefly as I can explain it, right, no matter what's going on in the world, no matter what's going on in your personal life, what's the real thing that's happening, the real miracle is the awakening of humanity, right? Because what happened is all of these things that are happening in the world now is push people to the edge. When you get pushed to the edge, you you've got nothing more to fear, when you lose everything, when you're not fearful of losing what you already have, um, you become fearless. Do you know what I mean? And the process teaches you all this. You know what I mean? You won't be bought. You can't be bribed. You can't be frightened. You can't be manipulated. Um, you can't be influenced at all because you have no fear, right? And this is where you get to if you're not there already, which I know many are. And this is exactly what's happening. So fears tries to instill in us to manipulate us, and at the same time, whatever you believe in, higher powers of some kind, right? They are using this as to our advantage, if you understand. So all the dark stuff going on is counteracted with this awakening. This is divine timing. This is what's happening, right? So this is used by the light. Everything that the dark is doing, the light is using it to wake humanity up, right? So what's happening now is waves and waves. It's been waves and waves, right? And what you do to manifest this, which that is what exactly what we're doing, right? If one or like say you somebody close to you, right, and you're having a conversation and you're talking about a holiday, do you know what I mean? And you can feel that excitement, you know what I mean? You're both visualising it, and then one's adding some, the other's adding some, but you're in it, do you know what I mean? You're in that little imagination, you're in that little dream, you're in that little excited, beautiful feeling of how you're going to feel. And so it doesn't matter, if you're visualising differently. What matters is you both got the same feelings, because two or more people, it speeds the manifestation up, right? And most of us have just been doing it alone, right? But not in the collective, because in the collective, what's been happening, the ones that are awoke and they know this process, right? They've got to this point of no fear. Of like they can't touch you because they can't do anything to you. Nobody can do anything to you, right? Because you're not frightened. So because you get faith, if you have none now, you will get it, right? So it'll just happen. You'll have so many revelations that you won't be able to, you won't be able to like be an unbeliever anymore. Anyway, that's different. See, all these different tangents you can go off on all of the time, but the big picture is this is the real thing that's going on, regardless of what you say, regardless of what's happening in your own personal life. The bigger picture is to wake us all up. Now you get for instance, just say everybody, as they come through the process, everybody thinking about freedom. You can talk about it, you can think about it, you can feel it. So what does freedom feel to you? It doesn't matter what you've envisioned. Do you know what I mean? It's different for everyone. But the feeling of freedom, we all know that. When you haven't got a worry in the world, when you're just totally at peace with yourself and you feel like you can do anything, you can rule the world, you can put the world to rights, you know everything, you know what I mean? But you know the feeling of freedom, it's the same goal, do you know, and that's the same for all other things. So the more of us that are doing this say just for freedom, this manifesting this feeling, when we get that surge of it, that feeling of it, do you know what I mean? The more and more do that, the more and more it does, and then the more and more it does, more waves. Do you know what I mean? And this is how it's happening, and this is why. And you can see the results. You can see the results now. You can see the dark crumbling and the light getting stronger, because we pushed too far. They went too far. That was their undoing. Do you know what I mean? Along with help that we are getting. So that's the big picture, right? The more people who are manifesting the same thing, the quicker and you know what I mean, and the better the manifestation, and it sticks. Because if you always want to feel like that, then it stays. It's a good manifestation because you've done it for the right reasons as well. There's integrity in it. It's not just for your own good. You feel it for you. That's what you want. But everybody can feel that freedom. It doesn't matter what you envision. The feeling is still kind of the same. Yeah. So, and this is what's happening. So the more and more people wake up and are going through the process, the more and more people are getting to where they're exploring all this, say, like freedom, peace. I originally asked for peace, and I got it, right, to a certain extent, because things still come in and try to, like, ruin you up, but you see them a mile off eventually, because as you progress, the veils are lifted, and now the veils are lifting off all of the dark stuff, and it's all coming to the light. Do you understand? So the big picture is, overall, it's all about, doesn't matter what they're trying to do to us, right? It's all about us humanity waking up. And this, we'll see miracles. I see miracles all the time. I see them every day. But it's, we're going to see big miracles. And so for the majority, even if you don't know anything about anything, all you have to do is just be. Yeah, just be the best you can be as happy as you can be. Try to, be as at peace as you can be, as often as you can be. You know what I mean? Look after yourself. Take time for yourself. Like yourself. Love yourself. Do you know what I mean? You honestly, I have so much fun about myself. and it's an amazing journey, but the hell part, you think you're never going to come out of it, but you do. You can go to the lowest of the lowest, but there's only one way then, and it's up, and that's true, and that's what happens to you, because you fight. Do you know what I mean? That's how we are fighting. That's how we are fighting the dark, and that's why we are winning, right? Because the whole process opens your heart, right? Because at the bottom of everything is love, right? And this is how we get our freedom. This is how we get our world back. This is how you ascend.